Hervarar saga. Heiðreks is a legendary saga from the 13th century combining matter from several older sagas. It is a valuable saga for several different reasons beside its literary qualities. It contains traditions of wars between Goths and Huns from the 4th century, and the last part is used as a source for Swedish medieval history. Moreover, it was an important source of inspiration for Tolkien when shaping his legends of Middle-earth. However, the saga may be most appreciated for its memorable imagery, as seen in a quote from one of its translators, Nora Kershaw Chadwick, on the invasion of the Horde. Hervar standing at sunrise on the summit of the tower and looking southward towards the forest, Angunta marshalling his men for battle and remarking dryly that there used to be more of them when meat drinking was in question. Great clouds of dust rolling over the plain, through which glittered white corselet and golden helmet, as the Hunnish host came riding on. The commentary by the editor and translator Christopher Tolkien is generally accepted, and it agrees with this article, save where a note indicates differently. See synopsis. The saga deals with the sword Tifling and how it was forged and cursed by the dwarves Devialin and Uran for King Svafralami. Later, he lost it to the berserker Angrim from Bomsur, who gave it to his son Angunta. Angunta died during a fight on Samsar against the Swedish hero Hjalmar, whose friend Orvar buried the cursed sword in a barrow together with Angunta. For the barrow it was retrieved by Angunta's daughter, the shield maiden Herva, who summoned her dead father to claim her inheritance. Then the saga continues with her and her son Heiðreks, the king of Östergötland. Between his sons Angunta and Hlod, there is a great battle about the father's heritage, and Hlod is aided by the Huns. However, Hlod is defeated and killed. In the end, the saga relates that Angunta had the son Heiðreks Ulfam, who was king of Östergötland for a long time. Heiðrek's daughter was Hildar, and she had the son Halfdan the Valiant, who was the father of Ivarvidfamni. After Ivarvidfamni follows a list of Swedish kings, both real and semi-legendary, ending with Philip Halstensen. But this was probably composed separately from the rest of the saga and integrated with it in later redactions, versions. The saga is found in many MSs, but there are three distinct versions called H, R and U, of which H and R are preserved in vellums. H is preserved in the Hauksbok, by Hauke Erlendsen, from California 1325. R, or MS 2845-42, is stored in the Danish Royal Library of Copenhagen, and it is dated to the 15th century. There is also a version called U, which is partially preserved as R 715 of Carolina Rediviva, the University Library of Uppsala, and as AM 203 Fol, in the University Library of Copenhagen. This version is from the mid-17th century and was written by Sara John Erlendsen in Villingarholt. However, these sources differ somewhat. For instance, R is held to be closest to the original version and is more similar to U than to H, but lacks the first chapter and an ending. On the other hand, it includes Hjalmar's death song. H ends with Just Umberlindi and R ends just before the end of ch. 12. However, there are two 17th-century copies of H, AM 281-42 and AM 597b-42, and they preserve the riddles of Just Umberlindi from the H version. A slightly different version of the stemma has been reconstructed by Alaric Hall. H. The matter on the Gothic wars with the Huns is of considerable age, and is based on events from the earlier mid-4th century that were transmitted for almost 1,000 years. It is a testimony to its great age that names appear in genuinely Germanic forms and not in any form remotely influenced by Latin. Names for Goths appear appear that stopped being used after 390, such as Gritting and Tiffing. The events take place where the Goths lived during the wars with the Huns. The Gothic capital Arheimar is located on the Dniepr. King Heiðreks dies in the Horvatia and the battle with the Huns takes place on the plains of the Danube. The mythical Mirkwood, which separates the Goths from the Huns, appears to correspond to Meotian marshes. Although the names testify to a historical basis, the events themselves have proved harder to align with other sources. Tolkien. There is much in this saga that readers of J.R.R. Tolkien's work will recognize, most importantly the riddle contest. There are, for instance, warriors similar to the Rohirrim, brave shield maidens, Mirkwood, haunted barrows yielding enchanted swords, a mithril mail code, an epic battle, a flaming sword, and two dwarves named Dwalin and Durin. J.R.R. Tolkien's youngest son, Christopher, translated the work in 1960, entitling his version The Saga of King Heiðreks the Wise. Editions and translations. The standard scholarly edition of the different medieval recensions of Heiðreks saga is John Helgeson's. The English translation usually used is Christopher Tolkien's. Allows Verelius Hervarar saga Pargamal Gotska https books Google Co UK books id equals Galua Karjan amp CCRAFN Fornaldar Sogur Northlander Eptir Gomlum Handwritem 3 vols IPP 513 to 533 http www.Heimskringla no wiki saga_Heiðreks_konungs_ins_vitra John Helgeson Heiðreks saga Hervarar saga OK Heiðreks konungs Samfundstilage of LCF Gammal Nordisk literature 48 Diplomatic edition of the MSSR U&H, Gersha, Nora, Stories and Ballads of the Far Past, pp. 79 to 150, http www.gutenberg.org, ebooks 33471, https archive.org, details Storiesbar Ladsivoochatjoft, http www.germanicmythology.com fornaldarshervararkershaw HTML http www.home.x.net.com %7 Nekyamasak Myth Norse Gersha Tok HTM, Guthnie Johnson and Bjarni Vilhelmsson, Fornaldarsaga Northalander, 3 vols, http, www.Heimskringla, no, wiki, Hervarar_saga_OK_Heiðreks, C.J.R. Tolkien, Hervarar saga OK Heiðreks konungs. B. Lit. Thesis. 1953 quarters. Hervarar saga OK Heiðreks, ed. Gita Vilpetra, London, University College London, for the Viking Society for Northern Research, 1956, introduction by Christopher Tolkien, http www.VSNRwebpublications.org, UK, text %20 series, Hervarar %20 saga %20 OK %20 Heiðreks, PDF, The Saga of King Heiðreks the Wise, trans. Christopher Tolkien, London, Thomas Nelson and Amp, Sons, 1960. Available at http vsnrwebpublications.org, UK. The %20 saga %20 of %20 King %20 Heiðreks %20 the %20 Wise, PDF. Peter Tunstall, The Saga of Hervarar and Amp, King Heiðreks the Wise, http www.germanicmythology.com, fornaldarsagas Hervarar Saga Tunstall, html, http www.eclipse.co.uk, nom Hervarar, html.